So Omari Anderson here with another My Friends in Cannabis. This one's really important to me. We have Zach Fleming here from TerrAscend. We out there probably the best dressed here, right? So we need to make sure we're calling that out as well. But yeah, I mean, he's a heavyweight in the game, Senior Vice President over at TerrAscend in charge of capital projects. So you know he knows what he's talking about. But more importantly, he's a mentor. He's always on our BCB Mastermind fireside chats, giving back, dropping gems. I'm terrible. I've had his number on my phone for at least, I don't know, 6 months, and I have not hit him up. But he just sent me 3 things that probably would change my business going forward. Anyway, let's talk to him. Let's run me, Zach. What's going on, man?
Good. What's good? Always a pleasure.
So, Zach, what brought you to the plant? Like, tell us about your journey. First time you smoked.
Yeah. Okay, perfect. So actually, you know, I born and raised in public housing, and so Fort Wayne, Indiana, small city in Indiana. I mean, it was just such a regular part of my environment. But when I was 14, like I always thought I was gonna hoop.
Okay.
Like I always thought I was gonna hoop, and then like I was realizing I wasn't growing. I was like, it wasn't gonna happen for me. But I always had like this mentality that I was going to be like, I had 6 brothers and sisters, but I was like, I'm gonna be the first one to get up out of here. I'm gonna be the first one. So literally I was like, shit, I'm gonna sell weed. Like 14 years old, got my first half ounce, lost $10 on it because I didn't know how to bag up. A guy taught me how to bag it, and he kind of just got over on me. So then I went to my older sister, said, hey, can you help me out? She got me right. I was sold cannabis maybe for like a year and a half before I actually started smoking.
Wow.
Then, and so this is like 95 too. So this is 1995. First time I sold, 96, probably sometime around there I started smoking. I don't even really remember if I know the first time I smoked. I don't really remember the first time I smoked because it's just...
But I love that you came to the plan through economics, right?
Yeah.
You said, you know what, if we live in this is our condition, I'm going to be the first one to get out of this. Let me figure this out. I love that. So you're a real legacy story. I think you're a real legacy guy.
100%, like 100%. I mean, even when I went to college, first person in my family to go to college.
Congrats.
Thank you. I really was like, I saw the opportunity in being on a college campus and what I could do with cannabis. And then it was also around that time, this is like 2000, I learned how to grow. And then it was a wrap.
Talking about margins.
Yes. So, and this is when ounces, literally you could get 500 all day for an ounce. So I started getting mobile homes in these really rural like areas of Indiana. I'd grow in them for 6 to 9 months. And then I kind of shut it down, go to another one. Did that until literally like 06. A bunch of people who we affiliated with, they did. So here's another thing. I'm extremely passionate about, like, I don't like pharmaceuticals. I never liked cocaine. I saw what it did to some of my best friends' mothers. So I've really been like anti those kind of drugs. But like I've always like really been super passionate about cannabis. People around me played with other stuff.
Right.
So about 06, a lot of them were getting hit for other things and ricocheted and almost got me caught up. I moved to Chicago overnight, shut everything down, moved to Chicago overnight. And then I got serious with a woman, hung up my jersey. I got into a career. I actually started treating opiate addiction.
Okay.
And then I did that for 15 years.
And so what brought you back to the cannabis?
I always knew I was going to come back. Like I always knew I was going to be in cannabis, and I was really waiting for Florida. So I was in Ohio and watching and like kind of keeping up with what's Florida doing. And then the polling was all showing Florida was going to flip. This is like 2013.
Right.
I told my wife, hey, we're going to move to Florida. I'm ready to get into the industry. I had been working in methadone facilities, running methadone facilities.
That has to be wild.
It's extremely regulated, right? So like I always felt like I was very prepared for cannabis because I'm dealing with the DEA, I'm dealing with multiple state agencies, I'm managing an inventory of a Schedule II narcotic that is extremely, like methadone is no joke, right? So I always knew I could just kind of jump right in with cannabis. I moved down here, first vote failed, but the licenses got issued. I met a person from TerrAscend, and then the rest is history. Then I joined TerrAscend, was with them 7-8 years, and joined TerrAscend like maybe a year ago.
Wow, bro, I love this story. So listen, I believe that legacy keeps the lights on. I love when we have people who make a legacy to legal transition, right?
Yeah.
And typically that's from the standpoint of a product or moving forward, right? And I love that you have that same story. And you don't look like me, right?
Yeah.
And sounds crazy, but in my experience, they always bring in these people at, your level and above who worked in CPGs, everybody worked at General Mills, and because Frosted Flakes was able to sell, they can sell weed. It doesn't work like that, right? I think selling weed is a very unique skill set, and we need to keep the culture in it.
100%. Well, like selling weed to me is like you're really taking care of people. Like there's definitely a difference. If you even want to call it drug dealing, there's a difference in drug dealers, right? Like there's some who are constantly trying to get over on their clientele, and then there's some that literally look out. And that's what, like, so when I've always wanted to be like somebody whose customers felt like, oh, he's always looking out. He's always doing something a little different. Like I used to bag up in cellophane and I'd make them like these perfect little squares because it just had a little look to it. And so I always try to do these little things to take care of the customer and take care of people. And I really think like the same dynamic as in cannabis legal market. Like there's companies that they try to take advantage of customers at every turn, right? Overcharging for distillate-based products. There's like a lot of the different things that happen. And so I've just carried that philosophy. When I was president here in Florida, I immediately launched a income-based discount, fixed income discount, started giving away free product to really bring that into
I love that.
Yeah, like we got you, don't worry, we got you. So
we need more people like you who believe in, that immunity aspect of the cannabis back into
100%.
the industry,
100%. It was like the first, like, again, I almost missed the illegal days sometimes because it was like that litmus test. You knew like, oh, dude, he's cool. Like, he's cool. It's all right. That was like the first with diversity. Like you didn't care who was in the circle because like it was like a little thing.
Right.
And I kind of I miss that about cannabis because with all of the legalization, I feel like we do lose community sometimes. I know, like I'm trying to really bring back all of my friends. We smoke FaceTime all the time. FaceTime sessions all the time because I need, I'm older now and I feel like I smoke alone a lot. And I like miss the community circle.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. I love that idea. I think I may steal that. If anybody sees me, invite them to a FaceTime, Zoom, or whatever with weed, actually, I might do bottle drinking lemonade.
There you go.
I gotta say that, right?
I've never had a dirty lemonade either, by the way.
So this is our first party. I will say that. Last night we had an amazing party. I don't know why. I blame Brandon and Todd.
I live in Tampa too. I was home alone last night on a Thursday.
Jeez.
Just for the record.
Listen, I'm gonna give you a card. You gonna send me an address. Yeah, we're gonna make it happen for sure. Yo, I appreciate you checking in with me.
Always, bro. Always.
I love that story, man. I really did the play.